It's sweet pickle, isn't it?
What's triple about it?
Triple cheeses. 3 different cheeses.
Right.
I have no clue what the cheeses are. Can we still say Kanye West made graduation even after everything he's done on Twitter? Alright, so here we have Sammy.
Yep, tuna melt.
Tuna melt. Oh. He's gonna let us know his thoughts.
And off I go, chewing up my sandwich. Still going.
Not bad so far. No, I like nice melted cheese.
Still going.
I like the tuna.
Wow, I took a long time doing this sandwich.
That's good.
Seems to be liking it.
Yeah. It's a decently put together sandwich, nice and cheesy. It could do with a bit of seasoning, I'll say that. The real sandwiches were the friends we made along the way.
Oh God.
Final verdict, good place, clean enough, decent service, good food, just a bit overpriced, and the place is a little cramped. I give it a 3.5 stars.
As you could see, he was a very hungry boy. Also, I don't know what's more cheesier, that sandwich or Sammy's humour. Anyway, so guys, would you go there? What do you think of Hockley Kitchen?
I've never been, but I would. It looks very nice. I like a tuna sandwich,
Yeah.
and it looks delicious.
Not too much into my cheese, but I'd probably get maybe if they had anything chicken, I would love to get some of that.
I mean, I love cheese, but pickle and cheese, what are they doing?
Yeah, no, pickles does not belong with
Unbelievable, unbelievable. So, now we've lined our stomachs, let's head off to see some non-edible fish as we visit the Japanese water gardens.
My name's Wendy Langford, I'm Managing Director of Japanese Water Gardens. We're based at Stapleford, Nottingham. We are an aquatic and reptile and pet centre. We specialise in koi carp that we import. We also sell pond related products including pond filters, pumps, UVs, pond food, everything to do with aquatic pond fish. We also sell a large selection of reptiles, birds, small furry animals. We also sell other fish including tropical fish, cold water fish and marine fish. The business was established over 40 years ago, founded by a gentleman called Bernard Channing. He was instrumental into bringing koi carp into the UK. He was probably one of the first people to go out to Japan, go around the Japanese koi farms and then actually import koi into the UK. Sadly, Bernard passed away just over 5 years ago, but the business still remains. Still the core business is importing koi carp. We've also diversified into doing other things like selling reptiles, furry animals, a bit more of a pet shop, but our main core business still is the koi, and we're carrying on the business as it was probably many years ago.
My name is Emma. I pretty much in the mornings I always come in and deal with all the animals, so I feed all the fish, deal with all of these in here and the reptiles next door, and then just helping customers where I can, restocking, do pretty much a bit of everything. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. When I was in school I didn't really enjoy all the exams and everything, so I knew I wanted to do something different at college, so I went to Brackenhurst and did animal management there. But since then I've not really found a job with animals until this, which I've only been doing since January, so this is the first time I got to properly work with animals. Stuff like the furries, they're pretty easy to take care of. It's pretty much just in the morning, fresh food, fresh water, weekly, do their bedding and everything. Same with the birds really on that one. Fish, it's more than people think it is. It's, you know, you have to do your water changes, you have to test the water, obviously your daily feeding, you've got to keep your eye on temperatures if it's warm water, tropical ones, it's filter cleaning, it is a lot more than people expect, but in my opinion it's definitely worth it. I have a tropical tank at home. I've done that since working here, so after seeing how much work it is, I still thought, yeah, it's what I want to do. The reptiles, they're not too bad as long as you're monitoring the temperatures of them, and yeah, just daily food and water, they're pretty pretty standard to look after.
Hi, my name's Lee Calladine. I've worked here for nearly 30 years. On a daily basis, I try to sell a koi. Basically, the same fish that you'd find in the ponds over here, but they're an ornamental variety, so they're very colourful. This particular one is called a kajaku, and he is 14 inches in size. And in Japanese, kajaku means peacock fish. We also sell a lot of fish online now. Our website, I'm going to give it a plug, is jwgkoi.com. We started doing YouTube about 12 years ago. When we rebuilt these ponds, I just had a little action camera, a little GoPro, and I would take it around, plonk it down on the ground, and while we were doing all the work, we got a bit of footage. I uploaded that footage at home onto my little YouTube channel, and all of a sudden I noticed that it started getting a lot of views. And one of the first videos that I made was an instructional video using animations of how to actually build a pond, and that video got a lot of views. Since then I've done loads of YouTube videos. People find them interesting because people have always got lots of questions about hobbies. During the last sort of like 5 years, a lot of people started YouTube channels up to do with fish. Anything hobby orientated I think is ideal for YouTube, and anything instructional is really interesting.
How strange as a human race we go from eating tuna cheesy sandwiches to keeping fish in a tank. The place there was great. I love animals, and there were so many cute ones. What's your guys' favourite animal?
So I used to do fish breeding when I was younger. So it would kind of consist of getting fish from the pet shop and raising them up and then giving them back to the pet shop when they have the babies.
Yeah.
So my favourite I'd probably say is like a neon tetra, or maybe a betta fish. You know, the colourful ones with the flowy fins.
Yeah.
How about you, Jess?
I'm a cat person. I love a cat. They're very low maintenance and perfect for me. My spirit animal.
I love cats. I mean, they had frogs there, tarantulas, they had axolotls. They were so cute and they were great. Now, for a snack break, and one important question: does the quality match the price? Let's join Jess in Do or Do Not.
Hello, welcome to Do or Do Not. My name is Jess and I'm here with
Jack.
And today we'll be ranking donuts from 4 different places around Nottingham. Tesco, the UK supermarket, Greggs, a British bakery chain, Dunkin' Donuts, a coffee company from the United States, and Donuts, our very own take on the sweet fried dough.
According to reviews, Donuts is the most popular. However, the only way we can verify this is if we rank all 4 donuts based on price and quality.
First up, we have the cheapest option, Tesco, at 75p.
Basically,
already looking at it, it looks stale.
I mean, it feels, the context of it, it looks like if you had a cob and then left it out on the side in the summer for 2 hours and then went back to eat it for some odd reason. That is...
Next up, we have Greggs at £1.20.
The icing's a lot more tasty, I'd say.
It was a lot better than the Tesco one, which just wouldn't go down at all. And next up, we have Dunkin' at £2.60. Oh God, no, I did not like that at all.
What?
It's very... It doesn't taste like a donut.
Feels like I had a slice of bread and I just poured a bag of sugar on it.
And lastly, we have
damn.
donuts at £3.75.
Donut bread, actual donut bread.
I think 1000% donuts for quality.
You may as well have ordered that off Wish, that's just...
I think, for me, second for quality is Greggs.
I'd agree.
I'm putting Tesco above Dunkin' for quality, because Dunkin's, that wasn't a donut. That was just bread with sugar on. At least there was a bit of moisture when it came to the Tesco donut versus the Dunkin' donut.
I'm tired.
I guess we would not recommend either of them. Based off price, I put Greggs above donuts because for really good quality,
I mean, £3
it's only,
difference
it's
yeah.
£1.20 for Greggs donut versus £3.75. I personally, unless it's a treat or a birthday or something, wouldn't spend £4 on a donut, regardless of quality. So I think £1.20 for a Greggs donut is perfect quality for price. I would spend £1.20 on a donut.
I'm going to have to agree. If we're looking at measuring taste and value for money, like you said, if it's a special occasion, a birthday or something, you know, £3.75, something like that, absolutely, because it's great. But if you're just popping in and you just want a snack, the Tesco, even though it is the cheapest, Greggs I think is better. So.
Yeah. I put Tesco, because these were tied, we have to agree that it's better to buy the Tesco donut than it is to buy the Dunkin'. Because Dunkin' is £2.60.
So nearly £2 difference.
And we've tied it with a 75p donut.
Quality
so if you want
and
a
taste,
cheap,
yeah, it's too similar.
not so good quality donut, go to Tesco. I just avoid Dunkin'.
Honestly, to me, it is the same texture of biting into a cob.
It is.
It's literally that kind of texture, and also the flavour as well. There's no flavour to it at all.
This was do or do not. See you next time.
I wonder how many times he's poured sugar on bread to figure that one out.
Yeah, his comparisons did make me giggle.
But yeah, what's your guys' favourite sweet treat?
Mine personally, I usually go for like a Kinder Bueno or something, just because, oh my gosh.
Oh, you can't go wrong
they're
with a Kinder Bueno.
so good every time. How about you, Jess?
I'm more of a sweets person. I love sweets. Any type of sweets, as long as it's not foamy, I will eat it. Love it.
I mean, what's better? I mean, I say Kinder Bueno donut. Donuts is great because you can have all sorts of red velvet, Nutella. Doesn't make anything into a donut, and I think it's really great. Wait, what? News just in, guys. Sammy's still reportedly in Hockley. Oh crap! I'm supposed to meet him now. Hold on, Sammy. I'm on my way. Sammy.
Next up, Lace Market Fish Bar. I think it took about like 10-15 minutes for food to get here, but anyway, here I am, food in hand.
Right. Let's go find a place to eat it.
I would like to advise all viewers of Hungry in Hockley to please ignore my very sour resting face.
Salty. It was past the chip test.
But soon, tragedy struck.
We didn't give him my fish cake. Oh, man.
Yep, they did the unholy sin of forgetting my fish cake.
That's a good gravy. What kind of fish is this?
Cod.
Nice crispy batter. Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, like that. Yep, that's a good fish.
Now it's time for Kristian and his big sausage.
My house is quite cold from sitting on this concrete.
That's a good idea. Tell the chip first. Hold on. The chips are nice. I'm not so sure about this gravy though. It tastes really fake.
Does it?
Like even Bisto's better than this. It's quite oniony as well, which is not for my taste.
Try the sausage.
The chips are really good. I like the sausage. The batter feels slightly undercooked. The gravy with the chips, I don't like it, but the gravy with this is actually really good.
We just finished up. We're absolutely stuffed.
You know what? Do you know what? I actually warmed to it at the end. I thought the gravy was weird.
Why is he being more analytical than me? It's off.
What's your overall thoughts?
Overall, the food was nice quality.
I give it 4 stars.
They forgot his fish cake. Such a travesty. Also, thank you, Sammy, for censoring me. Anyway, guys, now the age-old question when it comes to fish and chips. Sausage or fish?
Sausage. I don't like fish.
She loves a good sausage. What about you?
If I'd have to choose, I'd go for fish. But every time I get a chippy, I usually get like potato fritters and just chips and chips and chips.
What's the best vegetarian options, kind of stuff there? What would you say?
I don't know. I've not really looked into it because I'm very picky with my foods. Like literally, I just eat loads of potato.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with potato.
I mean, you get beans, mushy peas. I love. It's weird. I hate peas, but I love mushy peas and gravy. The gravy there wasn't great at all. It was absolutely.
Onions should not be in
Onion
gravy.
Yeah.
should be
Forbidden mix.
Get
Forbidden mix.
Rubbish.
Never.
Anyway, now we're going to join Yasu at Broadway with his Ring doorbell, exploring whether the public choose to stream or not to stream.
To stream or not to stream? It's not really a question, it's more of an option. I'm here today to look at various people's opinions and see if they think streaming is better or watching a film in the cinema is better.
In 2018, there was actually a study done on cinema goers, and 28% of them decided that they'd prefer to go to the cinema to see a film on the opening day. And 15% actually decided they'd prefer to stream at home. Since then, there's been a significant drop. 36% of viewers decide they prefer to stream a film at home, and 14% decide to go to the cinema. And the reason for that, and a huge factor of that, is COVID. Due to the closing up of cinemas when lockdown hit, cinemas lost billions, and people just got used to the idea of streaming films at home. It's sad to say, but because of things like that, streaming has truly impacted cinema in a massive way.
Do I ever think that cinema will ever reach its heights again? Probably. I'd say I'm unsure right now because, well, if we look at, the summer blockbusters of 2023 was like, I think the biggest cinema's been in quite a bit because, had Barbenheimer, you got all these people dressed in pink going to the cinema, and you got all these people saying, oh, Oppenheimer is a masterpiece. Personally, I didn't like Oppenheimer, but I think it's possible. It's just people need to get up their asses, go into the cinema, and just sit down and watch a movie. That's all they need to do. Also, studios need to market their films better. Like, back with Transformers 1, I haven't watched it yet. I mean, I got the DVD, I'll watch that soon enough, but I heard it's a great film, but it's just the advertising just didn't look that great. I mean, with all these things, it felt like some out-of-touch executive was just running the Twitter account. But yes, it needs to advertise the movies better, and maybe that'll make people go to the cinema more.
Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
The limited series, or once called the mini-series, used to be a format that sat on the sidelines of pop culture, but in recent years it has become central to popular television, consisting of a predetermined run length and end date. The limited series manages to capture the beginning, middle and end of a story in one 8 to 10 episode swoop. Their popularity has continued to grow over the last 3 years, with some of the biggest shows on television now only having a single season run. They most often appear as higher budget, more prestigious projects, drawing in more established actors, writers and directors. The number of stories being formatted into television of what would have once been a 2-hour feature-length film is still on the rise, giving television another chance to shine. The number of limited series has skyrocketed in order to meet the demand and has therefore produced some of the most watched television in years. That's not to say the format is in any terms new to screens, with the first miniseries seen all the way back in the 1950s on the BBC. In 1974, the Emmys introduced a category, Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, to celebrate the rising success of the format. The category has since been renamed and redefined to accommodate the changing style of the limited series, with its current incarnation called simply Outstanding Limited Series, with the requirements being limited series that are 2 or more episodes with a total running time of at least 150 minutes.
For me, when it comes to streaming at home and the cinema, there's various factors for me that a cinema will always be better at. For example, there's the sound effects, the camera quality. You just don't see that at home. You don't get that quality at home. And also when a massive film comes out, for example, a Marvel film, or 2 years ago we had Barbenheimer, which was a huge event for the cinema, one of the biggest things that has happened in cinema in years. But for example, there was also things like No Way Home. When Toby and Andrew returned, the cinema erupted. You can't get that same feeling at home. There's no crowd to really endure it with. So even though at home it can be more intimate, if you miss something you can rewind it, but being at a cinema, especially on something like opening day, there's no feeling that can truly match that.
Yeah. Cinema or streaming? Which one do you prefer?
Overall, I'd probably say streaming, just because, I mean, it's a hard question, because if it's a new film coming out and it's like a really exciting thing, of course I want to see it in the cinema. But if I want to enjoy a film just in general, obviously I would say streaming, or, you know, at home basically, yeah.
How much do you think streaming has truly affected the cinema?
I say it's affected it a lot in terms of, I mean, to be fair, if people want to see a new film, they are always going to go to the cinema and they're really excited about it. But now, streaming, some films go straight to streaming before it even goes to the cinema, which means that more people can see it. You know, they're making lots of money on the streaming services. I also think it means that they can put less work and time and money into it, because some streaming stuff is great, but other things, it's very obvious that it was rushed and not as much money got put into it.
So look, I'm a cinephile, so maybe I'm not seeing the whole hype behind streaming at home. But for me, my conclusion is always go to the cinema as much as you can, invest into the cinema as much as you can, because you can never truly experience something at the cinema at home. So my question to you, is cinema really dead, or is it still thriving?
Our journalistic superhound, Yasu the Viper Man Smarties McFlurry, interviewing me because he didn't want to talk to anyone else. Anyway, guys, to stream or not to stream?
Stream. 100%.
Not to stream.
Okay, okay. You two fight out. I'll stay here.
I love going to the cinema for the vibe, pretty much. I saw Five Nights at Freddy's on opening day, and seeing people get the references and all that type of thing was so fun. Definitely wouldn't get that if I just watched it on my TV.
Where I do agree, I prefer streaming, because then I can be in my own comfort and with silence, and also it's so much cheaper to stream because I'm spending one amount of money on hundreds of things that I can watch within a month, versus that's basically the same price as one cinema ticket.
Although, if you pay one price for a million different streaming platforms, it adds up. You can get a monthly fee for a cinema, or you can get Disney Plus, Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, all these other things, and you're going to pay 10, 20 times the amount.
Well, personally, I only need one, so that doesn't matter to me. But yeah, I guess I do like the vibe of a cinema, but I feel like it's more of a treat thing. It's more of a once in a while, for your favourite film type of thing.
Yeah.
Now we'd like to take a moment to talk about a more serious topic, homelessness. It's a problem here in Nottingham, but there is help out there to keep our rough sleepers safe, warm and fed. Jack Dawes reports.
The Trust has always provided food and toiletries, warm clothing to anyone in need.
Hello and welcome to the Canaan Trust Food Store. This is where we bring all our donations from different communities, churches, etc. And we also have to go out and buy a lot of food as well. So the food comes in, it's taken to the table you can see behind me. Everything's dated and sorted, so it's sorted into years and then months, so hopefully there is no wastage. They provide grab bags with items that they don't desperately need to cook with. We also provide toilet bags for males and females. So we give out a food parcel once a week that contains 11 items, and the hygiene packs can go out once a month. We also get lots of donations of clothes, sleeping bags, which we share with a street outreach team in Derby. We provide them with cooked chicken and sandwiches, etc. We're also very lucky that we get food from Greg's every night. That goes into the food parcels as well. And then we've got other items in the other room, so such as crockery, cutlery, bedding, clothing, shoes, that kind of thing, that goes out to people in the community or our lads when they're getting ready to move on. We also have a lot of donations of really nice items, soap sets, bath sets, that kind of thing that we use for our tombola stores when we're out in the community fundraising.
I became aware of the trust because I'd been working in advertising. I ran my own advertising sales company for 40 odd years. I was kind of going into semi-retirement, and the trust at that stage were looking for a new project manager. Their other project manager was moving on, so I basically applied for the position, and that's history. 16 years later, I'm here. The trust is probably 4 or 5 times bigger than it was 16 years ago. The complexity of the work that we do has got greater over the years. Sadly, the need has continued to grow, and the trust is flourishing and developing from being a male-only service to shortly being a male and a female service. When the trust first started, if you were female and homeless, the statutory authorities, i.e. local authority and social care and similar, as a female they would see you as being vulnerable, so they would take care of you, and therefore the trust tended to look after males because they weren't given that same courtesy by the statutory authorities. In the last 8 to 10 years, with the cutbacks in services and the economy, etc., local authorities and social care, doesn't matter what your gender is, basically you're on your own to a certain extent, and the need has grown. So the trust has, for the last 8 to 10 years, worked with females and families out in the community, but we lack that final piece of the jigsaw of having somewhere that we could actually offer them as a safe place to live on a temporary basis, and to help them basically rebuild their lives and to achieve independent living again. So the trust basically started fundraising. We purchased a property in 2023. It needed an extensive refurb. The actual project is costing the trust just over £600,000. That doesn't include the purchase of the property. And all of that money the trust didn't have. We had to raise it. So we've been busy fundraising over the last 2 years, raised the money, started the work, and the work is coming to its climax as we speak. Fantastic. And we're hoping to open the house in April this year. It's because we care and we want to make a difference.
Oh, that was really great, and I think what they're doing is amazing, and they're trying to fight food waste, which is a serious problem. You know, just in general, whether it's, I mean, people are not finishing food, that's fair enough, but like when we're chucking away food just because it doesn't look great, according to people, I think, you know, that's terrible. So I think it's good that, you know, apps like Too Good To Go exist, and also shops are selling more of these foods that are like, you know, wonky, but they are still taste nice and are edible and should be sold.
Yeah, what annoys me the most is most shops, like after the day, after the shifts, like if the food's like go to waste like the next day, they'll just throw it in the bin. And there's been so many videos where employees have gotten fired for going out of their way to give that leftover food to homeless people, because that's not in their policy. Where it's like, you've got bins full of donuts, full of like loads of food that you could give away to people on that day, but you choose to throw it, away.
Yeah.
I just think it shows like they're more interested in kind of like the money than actually helping people out. I think the hygiene packs they do as well is really, really good.
Falling on hard times can often lead to a dark and dangerous path. Being on the street can leave you vulnerable to violent crime. Jersey Baisley reports.
The gangland godfather who's been compared to the Krays.
Built on drugs and ruled by violence, and their army of henchmen who intimidated, tortured and assassinated to get what they wanted.
Executions and kidnappings. He used corrupt policemen.
Then, I killed someone with a single punch. I bit his eyelids off and his lips off and swallowed them.
Over the years, Nottinghamshire has gained itself a reputation, especially in the early 2000s, with a spike in unemployment leading to the nationally recognised reputation as Shottingham. Around 2003 was when the term Shottingham had been brought to light after there were 77 reported shootings. 3 years later, Colin Gunn was arrested after his reign over the Nottinghamshire village Bestwood. Colin and his brother David ruled the estate and built a multi-million-pound empire with drug cartels, murders, violence and extortion.
Gunn has been to a number of notorious murders. He was already serving a life sentence, and today he's been found guilty of police corruption.
The gangster, the corrupt cops, a police force under pressure.
Colin's ruling was over after the devastating deaths of Joanne and John Sterling that he'd organised, receiving him 35 years in prison. David, on the other hand, has received 23 years prior due to multiple sentences, but is now not in prison and urges people to stay out of the criminal life.
To be honest, it's kind of appalling because even the other day, me and my friend had gone to an incident. I heard that a stabbing happened near Primark.
I think there's definitely been more police in the centre I've seen, so I think definitely they've made it more safe. I think maybe more in the evening. There's quite a few in the day, so maybe evening. Probably.
Maybe around the clubs a bit more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think at night time it can feel quite unsafe sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you this much. When I did, one of the only times I've actually had to use 999, honestly, it was pointless. I might as well have gone out and just faced them myself.
I feel like as a girl, I'm obviously a bit more cautious during the night, but I think if you're with friends, everything is fine. Going alone is obviously a bit unsafe, but I think if I'm with friends, then it's fine.
Guys, have you ever felt vulnerable on a night out in Nottingham?
Yeah, definitely. It's, I suppose, especially for women, it's a lot more difficult to not feel vulnerable at most points, especially if you're alone. It's a lot easier when you're with friends or you've got someone to help back you up, but it definitely feel vulnerable if I'm alone or even with people sometimes.
I've got a good support network, so when I go out, I don't feel too vulnerable. However, if I were to go, out to the store late at night, if I really need something, I do feel quite it's definitely not safe out there, especially alone. So yeah, it's very important to have people you know and can trust whilst you're out at night.
Definitely. Moving back to a less serious discussion, let's switch over to our very own Bella the Banshee as she discusses the goth alternative scene in our beloved city to see if it's truly as dead as people say it is.
Hi, my name is Bella, and today we will be talking about the alternative scene in England.
They tell you through the ear how long we've got left, and you just made me...
The first place I decided to visit was Hopkinson's. This is a vintage and antique store that used to be a haunted museum.
My name is Elliot. I'm basically the assistant manager for the retail side of Hopkinson's.
What kind of customers and demographic do you attract here?
We attract a lot of alternative people and we absolutely love it here. A lot of LGBTQ customers, we're like a safe haven for them. And my boss, he made rainbow vases on top of some of the cabinets just to have a nod for the LGBTQ rainbow. We love everybody here, so everybody is pretty much welcome.
So what tips do you have for finding quality items?
For quality items, it honestly depends what it is that you're after. If it's crystals, I will always tell people to go upstairs into the witchy section. If it's more gothic clothing, again upstairs at the back or on the ground floor in the corner. If it's jewellery, I will always tell them about the jewellery counter. If it's for gaming or like trading cards, always point them to the back end, which we have tons of it. If it's for stuff like records down in the basement, same with postcards or even books. We've got a library down there, and we've got tons and tons of old books, and you can find pretty much anything here.
I saw there was like these X-ray things on the basement.
Yeah, even the X-rays.
Really
The X-rays are awesome.
Yeah, I spent loads of time looking at those. What other places do people who like Hopkinson's go to in Nottingham?
A lot of people that like Hopkinson really like escape rooms. You can have a very similar vibe. People like going to Cobden Chambers, which is kind of like another independent place where people can rent out space. That was a really good one. So Pit and Pendulum, Tap and Tumbler, any of the rocky places. So we get a lot of people that love coming here, but also love going to those kind of venues. Gigs as well. People that come here love their gigs.
Do you think there's still a good alt culture in Nottingham?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just from like the past 2 years from working here, the amount of people that I've seen become more alternative, it's insane. In the place that I used to work in, you hardly saw any alternative people. But here, it's like 90% of our customers, and I frigging love it. The scene in Nottingham is getting more alternative, and more people are just falling in love with it. It's great.
The next place I decided to visit was Tap and Tumbler. It's a rock and roll type of vibe in there. Spoke with Jay, who is also part of Narwhal Presents, does some really cool different types of events. The place I went to was called The Chapel. All live music with loads of different punk artists.
We are the Tap and Tumbler. I'd say we're an alternative rock bar in Nottingham. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know where the inspiration came from. It's just, as far as I've been aware, always been like this. Been a pub for, as a Tap and Tumbler, 40 years, I think. It was trading before that for quite a while as well.
What makes you special from other pubs in the area?
I think we have quite a unique, distinct style. There's not too many proper rock bars in Nottingham. There's a couple, but there's not a few. I think we've got quite distinct style, yeah.
What's the vibe and the atmosphere, type of people that visit here?
Always really friendly, always really nice. Tend to have more alternative people, but we're a completely inclusive venue. We like to promote, safe space for anybody to come, but usually quite quirky people come here.
What type of music do you play?
Predominantly rock, metal, punk stuff. They're the kind of bands that we have on. Heavy metal, that sort of alternative sort of stuff.
Speaking of the type of music you play here, I've seen that the pool areas are usually where I believe the stage is. So what type of artists do you have perform here? Is it similar to the music? Or?
Yeah, very similar to the music. We try to get as many sort of local DIY bands and stuff in as we can, but then we also have a lot of touring bands. But it's all predominantly mostly from like punk, doom, sludgy, hardcore, metal, all the sort of alternative genres. That's what we tend to have. We tend to have music every Friday and Saturday, but sometimes for whatever reason we don't. You can noticeably tell the difference between a Friday if we don't have music and a Friday when we do.
What's the most ordered drink here?
One of the most recent popular ones we've had is we do our own in-house cask ale. So we've renamed it, rebranded it ourselves. We call it Chugging Riffs. It's just a shout out to bands and stuff that we put on. That's probably one of our most popular ones at the minute.
What other places do people visit in Nottingham who also like the Tap and Tumbler?
I would say the closest ones we have, Sal, there's Pit and Pendulum, which has got a sort of similar rocky vibe, but doesn't have live music. Billy Bootleggers is another place which I used to run, which also has like live music similar to this.
Do you think that there is still a good alt culture in Nottingham? Why or why not?
Yeah, I mean there's a great alt culture in Nottingham. There's loads of promoters, independent promoters putting on loads of gigs. Nightlife's getting busier and busier. You can see more and more people coming out doing things. It's a good time to be alt in Nottingham.
So the final verdict, Is the alternative scene in the UK dying? No, it's not dying.
Smashing it there, Bella. Convincing the editor to go out on a lash for a story. Hashtag winning. Sorry, I lost myself there for a second. So, Bella, what's kind of the general vibe of these places?
It's always, so everybody always kind of assumes that like alternative people or like that type of groups are kind of negative or rude or angry, but they're the nicest type of people that you're going to ever meet. Like, they're so welcoming of loads of different types of people. And, you know, it's just really nice to have, like, people that are always welcoming in a place like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Very, like, the vibes definitely look quite like something I'd enjoy. I've never been to an alternative bar or anywhere, but I'd definitely try it out after watching that. Like, it's always scared me, but they are really nice people. I know a lot of alternative people, and it'd be nice to have a look.
Yeah.
I went to Pit and Pendulum, had a lovely sausage meal there once. It was actually really nice. Anyway, so Liverpool had the Beatles, Manchester had Oasis, great drink by the way, Birmingham had Black Sabbath, but what about Notts? Jake Bugg? He was so 2005. Jack the Rack's been out to report on our very own rising stars.
It's 2001 in Nottingham. A city known for thieves, cheese and knife crime. 4 young lads in a band named Panchico are about to split up and go their separate ways after 2 years of music and mayhem. After their first EP gained as much traction as a brick of butter on a hot skillet, they all headed off to uni. And so, Panchico was no more until...
Hello and welcome to the studio here at Nottingham College. Today I have the pleasure of speaking to Owen from Panchico about the interesting history of the band. So Owen, can you explain to the audience how Panchico gained international success after being disbanded for over a decade?
We made a little demo on a CD back in the 90s, late 90s, before the internet was massive and before you had like Spotify. You'd burn your music onto a CD, you'd make some tracks with your friends and then send it off to record companies and A&R people to try and like gain some kind of interest from the record company, and they might write back and say, "Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, when have you got a gig here or there?" But I think we only ever got one response. So yeah, we made this little CD demo and made it on a little like digital CD quality 8-track. We made these tracks and we were in a band and we played Battle of the Bands and gigs in places like Wolverhampton and Nottingham, to playing to nobody, and yeah, that was it. It was kind of like we went off and did our things at university, and then it was a bit like it's probably not going to happen in terms of like putting time into the band. But anyway, yeah, fast forward, like did some music years ago, then went and carried on with our lives. January 2020, cold dark January morning, I woke up one morning, I was coming to work and I had a little Facebook message saying, were you the singer in this band, Panchico? But I go, but so why are you searching for that band? And then they told me this story of our old demo CD had been put in a charity shop in, we think, Sherwood in Nottingham, and someone had found it, looked at the cover, went, I'll put that on, and they burnt it, I think, onto their computer and uploaded it to a site called 4chan. But essentially, yeah, someone, and I still don't know who this person is, they uploaded the CD, put it on 4chan, but when they did put it on there, it was all like rotted, like something called bit rot, where the CD we burnt onto a CDR, a recordable CD, which was of like slightly dubious quality, and therefore the music, when it played, it was all stuttering and it was all like degraded. And they were like, we've been looking for this CD and want to know if you've got the original tapes and you've got the original masters to it, because we want it to be restored. And I went, why is that? Oh, because it's got this bit rot. And I'm like, oh, okay. So essentially, like, yeah, so what happened is someone had uploaded this file, it was all broken and it all sounded really weird and distant and muffly, like the music was dying and disintegrating off the CD. So initially, like, I had that moment where I went, oh my word, so people have actually listened to this CD that we made. I went, oh my word, I don't know what they're going to make of it. And so, like, I remember I went to my computer after that initial conversation and I just typed in Panchico into Google, and I did this like, it was proper like a cheesy movie or something like that. I just hovered over the enter button for ages. I went, do I want to know? Do I really want to know what's going to come up when I press this button? What came up was interesting because there was a number of things on there about it. There were various fan videos of people taking this rotted music and making little anime videos to go inside along with it, and sort of led to the idea that like what was happening is we were something called lost media, which is something that's quite interesting when like where people find a recording or they find a bit of media that's sort of like there's only a snippet of it that's been lost to time, and then so there's been a lot of music that's resurged because of this lost media like sort of movement to find music that wasn't as popular at its time when it was created. And maybe there's a fan base for it. So then me and Andy we got the new version of the music and we uploaded it with a YouTuber called Dismiss Yourself, who did a lot of lost media stuff. Because at the time we didn't have a YouTube channel because we were like, we're not really a band, we're not really about promoting it. So we sort of, the initial stage was engaging with the community that like found the stuff on the Discord, and then there was a particular guy called Dismiss Yourself he had a version of the Rotted album up online that had a number of plays and comments that I originally read about, like when people discovered it and went, wow, I can't believe that's about music I made when I was like a teenager.
Well, thank you. I think that wraps it up, but we really appreciate you coming in today. And yeah, new album out on the 4th of April.
Yes,
there you go. Everyone listen to it.
I always get my fill. It makes you
Didn't he have a lovely hairy face? That was Panchico. Honestly, I think their story is fantastic. You know, it's a random band burning their song into a CD, and then years later being found on 4chan of all places. I mean, 4chan is known for some quite bad stuff, so it's kind of nice that 4chan, you know, was a part of such a good story.
Yeah, I also think it's really cool that it was originally like found in a charity shop. You know, loads of things in charity shops, they have like loads of vinyls, they've got loads of CDs, and it's just got so many different types of music, so it's really nice that they were able to find their demo there as well.
Yeah, I really like seeing people from Nottingham do well. Like, it makes you feel quite motivated and makes you realise that, like, you know, I can do this, especially as like a filmmaker. It's nice to know that you can actually get somewhere if you try hard enough, even by luck.
Wait, the producers have Sammy back on the hunt for munchies. Sammy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sammy, what are you cramming in your face hole? It's Hungry and Hockley Part 3.
Yes, I'm Anthony. I'm the general manager for Foe in Nottingham. I've been general manager for a year and a half. I've been in hospitality for over 20 years. So this is my passion. This is what I did. I also did my degree at Nottingham College. So I did that last year. So yeah, that's what I'm here for. Looking after you guys. So
we had a pretty massive course. I mean, bloody hell. We had these cold fish things, had these spring rolls, which with load of meat in them, very nice. Here's me trying the dragon fruit lemonade. That's good. I'm gonna have to get another one of those. I ended up getting about 3 of them. While I was doing that, Kristian was drinking weed.
Whoa, that is weird.
What's it like?
It's like drugs.
Here comes more food. What are these?
Give it a try.
I don't know.
That's beautiful. Look,
it's alright, I've got it.
Yeah, think it.
Oh my god.
Some noodle doodles, just in case.
We'll all pay for it.
So thick you need a forklift. Finally, the actual pho.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, it was so watery. They gave us bibs. It's like we were babies. But yeah, incredible food, I must say. So what's our final verdicts on pho?
I loved it. I was very surprised that I loved it because I have very basic taste, but everything was beautiful and I'd definitely go again.
Jackie boy?
Yeah, 100%. Really enjoyed it. Nice, different array of foods, drinks. Yeah, definitely go again.
Yeah, this is a solid 4.9 stars. Hell yeah.
Oh, it was really nice there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I changed my rating for it, but I'd go again, but I wouldn't choose it over like anywhere else. Like if I had the option, I'd definitely pick something else over.
The girl's a liar. What about you?
I mean, it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I love like East Asian food, Vietnamese food, Chinese food, Japanese food, all of it. So I definitely would try it, 100%.
Yeah. Now to end this whole nightmare of a production, let's go to Lucy, the former redhead turned blondie, and see what mayhem she's stirring up in the A-Up market. How you doing, Lucy?
This is the A-Up market. Nottingham's answer to Camden Town. Local artworks, business owners, performers and food aficionados gather to celebrate Nott's rich melee of talent. It's a vibe. This weekend, Nottingham says A-Up to all the independent local businesses for the 4th year running.
Quite enjoy it. My parents thought I'd be grown up by now, guess I'm a disappointment. I got habits that I can't beat, it's Pete, so it's only right that I join them. I'm lost out.
Over this time, the market has grown into a popular space for local vendors, artists and the community to come together.
My cig in a plastic cup, I'm way too drunk and it feels fantastic. Got bread on me like sandwich, me and them bums speak different language. Yeah,
the A-Up market provides a unique combination of shopping, dining and community experiences, all with the focus on local talent and small business.
Well, I build a spliff, I'm pissed, lost everything I came here with is true. Left me right, got red or blue, matrix in, and I'm like,
I wanted to interview some stall holders, but first, break.
Disappointment, I got habits that I can't beat, it's Pete, so it's
ready, but my mics were not. What inspired you to open your business?
Now it's Air Max 1s and raves, so the whole thing's raps like Christmas Day. My fit straight out 03, a V2 jeans and an England tee like Beckham. Barber knows me well, 0.5 on the back and side.
How many years have you been a part of Nottingham's A-Up market?
One hit, now you're more than sleep speaking. Double Dutch like Cruyff and CP. Mix the drink with lime and kiwi juice. Red or blue like Keanu. Alright then, pick your poison. I had one too many, I'm drunk in love. Can't lie, girl, I quite enjoy it. My parents thought I'd be grown up by now. Guess I'm a disappointment. I got habits that I can't beat, it's Pete, so it's only right that I join it.
How has being a part of Nottingham's A-Up market helped your business? For someone who has never been to the A-Up market, how would you describe it in 3 words? So what has the A-Up market got? Things like handmade crafts and art, vintage clothing and accessories, local produce and street food, beverages, live entertainment and music, and even workshops and interactive activities. With loads of smiley faces and satisfied customers, food and drink lovers all gather together to deliver a delicious experience. The A-Up market was established in 2021 and has since offered a blend of products and experiences, making it a popular destination for locals and visitors.
I've never been to the A-Up market, but it just looks so vibrant and it just looks like a proper community, you know, like it's nice to see Nottingham happy and proud to be Nottingham.
Yeah, it's always such a bland city, so it's nice to see it be so festive and colourful and actually bring people together.
And it's good to see small businesses able to get their foot in the door and be able to get money from other people so they can keep making the things they do.
Well, yeah, this has been quite a show. What's been your favourite part? What part's interested you the most?
Ooh, definitely the Japanese water gardens. I really I love fish and I love koi, they're so pretty. And also you mentioned axolotls, I'd definitely go there. It makes me really want to go there.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm torn between either the donuts one or probably Panchico. I'm quite a foodie, so that's why I'm into the donuts one.
Yeah.
And I also love, I love Lost Media and I love anything to do with music, so that was also quite interesting to me.
I'm glad you didn't go for eating fish opposed to looking after fish. That would have been very bad. Well, that's it for another week with us at Knott's Collage. Or is it? What's your second favourite thing?
What's my second favourite thing? I don't know. Oh, Jesus. What's your second favourite thing? I think
I'm going to say
Under
Hungry and
Pressure.
Hotly then.
Hungry and Hotly, yeah.
Just because, obviously, there was so much variety when it came to looking in all those food places. Although, it was two kind of chip shoppy things, and then the pho, which was looked pretty good. So, yeah, I'd say I enjoyed that.
Oh, mine. I'd definitely say the homeless, the homeless shelter, the Canaan Trust.
Yeah.
Because it's so, something that I'd like to do myself, to be able to volunteer and actually help people that really need it. So it'd be better for me to be able to actually help them.
Well, that's it for another week with us at Knott's Collage. I've been Kristian. Thanks to Bella Lightfingers for blowing the budget on booze. And of course, Jess for eating some donuts. Join us next week when I'll be licking windows for a taste test. Sammy will probably be dead in Hockley. Jess goes cat stalking, God bless them. And Bella eats shoes like she always does. I've been Kristian Cobblebottom. Good night.